Hello fellas, Frankie Day back again on YouTube. This evening on YouTube I have builds of my past, featuring one of my collections in the Revell 1/32 scale range. This is the great Beaufighter, the Bristol Beaufighter. Folks, this is kind of a forgotten aircraft that's rarely often modeled a lot though, and this is pretty much a pilot's airplane. About its history, I don't know very much of it. And all I know is it's a fighter. It's a high-speed fighter, almost like that of a lightning bomber. It has no inboard stores such as Bombay, which has bomb loads. They mostly carry exterior armament. Most of them are used as torpedo bombers. They're a very excellent torpedo bomber that the English used during the Second World War, and they're quite versatile too. They're a very rugged airplane. They got those Bristol Pegasus Hercules engines they use with the big old large cowlings on there. It reminds you of the old Douglas A-26 Invader. And the kit comes with two pilots, Panzer Bill at Panzer Bill's bunker. Mr. Bill would have loved to have the pilots on this one, 1/32 scale. They weren't too hastily molded, as I can remember. Very easy to paint, and I know Bill will have a blast with these pilots on here, so I know he likes his pilots. So, Bunker Bill, Panzer Bill's bunker, this is your airplane, buddy, and your pilots. I just hope that the close-up views will show some of the detail of the pilots, and maybe you can see a little of them. Anyway, this kit comes with two of them. It's a very easy kit to build. It comes in black plastic. I don't know if they make this model anymore by Revell. All I know is I bought this back in 1969 at the PX. I think I paid $1.50 for it, and it just newly came out of it. Incidentally, folks, this makes the let's see, good grief, the first 1/32 scale model that aircraft that Revell purchased at the time was the P-40E Flying Tiger, the Messerschmitt VF-109E, and they had another one too. I think they had, yeah, they had the Messerschmitt 110. And it came out with the Beaufighter. So the Beaufighter actually was the almost the last of the 1/32 scale range that Revell done. This is an early kit, folks. The paint scheme of that is midstone and dark brown, and I believe this comes from India. I think this airplane served in India with the paint schedule. I could be wrong. If I stand corrected, shoot me out and shout out and let me know. Say, Frankie, you're wrong. As long as over here, you're probably right. Truthfully, fellas, I don't know much about this airplane, but I know the power plant of it, I know what it has done, and I know the kit. The kit's not a bad kit, to tell you the truth. A lot can be done with the kit this size. It's a pretty good sized airplane. It has a wingspan, oh, I don't know, about 20, 21, 22 inches. This is a very beefy, sizable airplane. Very rugged and very strong. This airplane's been dropped about 3 times, and so far nothing's busted off of it yet, though, and so I try not to make a common practice of dropping my models. That's a no one wants to do, especially all that work and labor you slaved into them. It's not worth the drop, folks. There you go, Panzer Bill. That pilot back there sitting back there behind the cockpit, I don't know what he does. I don't know if he's a gunner or a bombardier or an observer or a radio man. I think he may be a radio operator, radioman. I bet even money that he's a radioman. And the pilot that can be seen in there. With the cockpit there, fellas, the cockpit fits real good in this kit. Real good. I went ahead and put the cockpit in place, and using a 5-minute epoxy, I glued it in place there, and using wet and dry sandpaper 320 grit, I sanded the whole cockpit down until it needs flush with the fuselage. And I went ahead and masked off and airbrushed the framework on it. Both props turn. And the landing gear is in down position, as you can see, sitting on our legs. And the tires do turn, and the tail wheel turns. That's about the only operable features on this airplane, other than that. And get a little closer view, the closest I'm going to get with this camera, folks. And you can probably see the pilot pretty good in there. And I'll turn around Lady Susan a little bit. You guys get a good look at it. It's an old airplane. I had it since 1969. I built it 20 years ago. And I entered the model contest and won 2nd place, so no big deal. And first place that took after, you wouldn't believe, the guy had I think he had a small 1/72nd scale Hawker Tempest he had. And that was a very small kit by Revell too. He won first place on that, and I won second on this. Incidentally, this is only one of its of the multi-motor aircraft that actually won. Most of them were jets. Anyway, this was a fun airplane. The decals were pretty thick, so I had to apply about 3 or 4 coats of Walther's decal solution to thin down the decals so they'd be able to confirm like paint across the plastic. The airplane, like most of the models, always been primed before I applied the finished coats on it. It's using bronze cowling rings on it, with which are very great for. And the Bristol Hercules engines that the Bristol Beaufighter incorporated was very highly detailed. I think it came with 14 cylinders, folks. And I believe there's about 22 parts to each engine assembly. And the tires all been weathered real well. And I should have dropped the flaps in this thing, but I didn't think about it. It's built right out of the box. No aftermarket parts at all, fellas. This is right out of the box. The only thing that's different is the decals and the paint schedule. On the kit itself was posed as a night fighter. It was all black, entirely black, nothing else but black. And I don't like it all black, so I like to give the Beaufighter a little camouflage on there. So I did some research on Jane's fighting aircraft, and I came across this Beaufighter and done it from there. It wasn't no internet that I used back in those days. For everything was done by books. So I got the color pretty well close to it. The paints I used, I mixed myself. And it's a good airplane, guys. The novice should have no problem building this kit. It makes an excellent collection to anybody who likes big aircraft in 1/32nd scale. And it's a wonderful airplane. I love the hell out of it. And I don't understand why it's underrated a lot, though. But a lot of pilots testify it's one heck of a pilot's airplane. I can see why. But other than that, here's your Bristol Beaufighter, 1/32nd scale by Revell. There's old Saint Nick right there. Yeah, we'll see you, buddy. Yeah, you're good, man. And that guy right there. I sort of have second thoughts about him. Anyway, getting back to the Beaufighter, we'll zoom back in again one more time, and I'll proceed with the closing of the video here. So, look, folks, stay tuned for the group builds coming up. I'd like to remind you one more time again that Robert Goslin's has the group build of his D-Day build, which will start on the 1st of January 2014. That's going to be a colossal build, to say the least, fellas. There'll be a lot of stuff out there. I'll be one of the guys out there that'll be in this build, probably build more than one model. With a 6-month grace period of that kind of a build right there, Lordy, folks, that's going to be a lot of builds on there. So, anyway, stay tuned for that, folks. That gets underway on January. Speedy 197, Mark's got his group build of the 1960s jet aircraft and receptacle aircraft. He elected the inbox review of his Freedom Fighter F5. I got one of his videos. I tuned in one of his videos right there, and he had second thoughts about entering the kit. And I say keep it, Mark. That F5 is a 60s kit, 60s aircraft. It served in the Vietnam War. Well, folks, that right there is time for Frankie to sign off. So stay tuned for my update build of number 1 of my F4C Phantom of Speedy 197's group build 1960s Cold War jets and aircraft. And we'll see you next YouTube, folks. By tomorrow sometime, I have some more updates on my George Washington sub. So take care, fellas, and God love you guys, and happy modeling, and stay tuned for the next video.